Great record. God bless you guys. Listen to Tony. I'm right.
Well, here at 23 ABC, we cover the news that you need to know, but we're also looking to cover those more positive stories, especially this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that includes a cafe in Kentucky that pays it forward during the Thanksgiving holiday. Claire Crouch with our sister station has more on one business's efforts to make sure that everyone's getting a good Thanksgiving dinner.
After over a year of pandemic closures, layoffs, and supply chain issues, Kyle Fannin is thankful.
I'm thankful for the community. This is a community cafe. That's just a name until you go through something like the pandemic.
The executive director of the nearly 3-year-old Spark Cafe knows it's the community they serve that's pulled them through these trying times, allowing them not only to survive, but to continue their mission of feeding the food insecure.
One day there was a knock at the door and people just started coming and handing us checks.
So as Thanksgiving nears, they're showing no sign of slowing down. For the third year, the Pay It Forward Cafe is pulling out all the stops for a Thanksgiving feast that not only tastes great, but of course, helps others.
Our goal this year is to sell Pay It Forward 250 and give away 50. And the way it works is you buy your meal and 20% of that cost will go to buy meals for the food insecure.
Fannin says it's not just a good cause. He is adamant it's the best food in central Kentucky, thanks in part to head chef Isaiah Screech.
What a way to be able to give back to your community and also have a great feast.
With a background in catering from Keeneland, Screech has given Spark the confidence to branch out. Now he's cooking up fresh Thanksgiving meals with local ingredients that include 3 sides, a 3-pound turkey or ham, and dessert.
To just know that you're feeding all of these people from the community, tourists, all the people that are coming through the door, and they're leaving tips to help feed the food insecure. It just warms your heart.
A way of saying thanks and giving thanks, something that Fannin and company never seem to tire of.
People are looking for a way to give back, and when you prove to them that you're going to help those who really need it, they're very generous.
Okay, welcome back, Stephanie.
What's up, Steve? So good to see you every Wednesday and Friday on the replays. This is awesome.
That's right. It's always nice to see you. And it's nice to see our viewers come around every time, each week on Wednesdays and Fridays. This is Kick Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb. You're Stephanie McPhail, right?
I am. Last I checked.
And the last time I checked, I'm Steve Vaccaro. But Stephanie, we have some new viewers out there today. So tell everybody about your book.
Sure. My book is called Being Loved Shouldn't Hurt. I wrote it to share my story and inspire others who are currently in toxic relationships or have ever been in one, realize that they can actually leave and create a life that they can thrive in. So if you are stuck and you're wondering if it's possible for you to actually create a life that you are happy to wake up to every day, definitely read that book and get inspired. And if you're ready to start doing the work yourself, you can also purchase my workbook and start going through that work on your own.
And you know, the book is so helpful, but the work that you do day in and day out, do you see a common theme that's occurring around the holiday times? Is that more of conflict for people, or is it the same year round?
I feel like definitely at the holiday season, there's a concern of being alone. So there'll be a lot of people that feel like maybe this isn't the time to end the relationship, even though it's toxic and there might be a major drama during the holidays. They're so afraid of being alone or messing up the holiday for their child that they're forgetting how much these toxic relationships are actually already negatively affecting their children. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely see a big issue with people not reaching out for help because it's the holidays and they don't want to bother anybody, letting them know that they are by themselves for the holidays. So there's a lot of support that's needed for people in these types of relationships, and a lot of fear that goes along with it too, because they don't know what kind of temper they're going to be getting around the holidays either.
Right. And we established the fact last week that Thanksgiving is inching closer, and we had a pay it forward clip at the beginning of the show. Are you ready for Thanksgiving? I know in the you don't have the turkey thing, but you got all the trimmings and getting family together, and it's your first Thanksgiving away from New York, isn't it?
It's actually our second. Last year, David was actually still in the hospital. My husband literally almost died about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So he was still actually in the hospital recuperating. So I was by myself with the kids, but luckily I have friends that live not that far away. So the plan is actually this year to be able to go to their house and their brand new house and go hang out there with them and their family. And then the next day, we're actually going to be going for a few days to a lake house to go and hang out. So it's going to be, this year is going to be way fun, unlike last year. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, no doubt. And you see, I have my lumberjack uniform on here today. I've been out getting wood and different things, getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday. Not, but we're getting really ready for the holiday. And I think holiday is such an important time of year, and with the vaccination rate increasing and people traveling, I think more families are going to get together more, and perhaps those relationships, may be good, may not be so good, but people like yourself that you give back and you support and advocate and empower for others is so very much needed. So Stephanie, thank you for everything that you do. But our network is going to have a couple of fundraisers this weekend right here on Long Island, New York. One is on Sunday. We have a band called Jackie and the Rippers that are going to be our main band performing. We're giving out free turkeys, free meals, free concert. Everything is free. So you have to come down. It's from 4 to 10 in Valley Stream, Long Island, if you're around the area. But it's all about giving back and paying it forward. And before that, we're going to be at a bagel shop in the same town on that morning, giving out turkeys and free bagels and different knickknacks for the kids. And on Thanksgiving morning, we're also going to be out and about between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., giving it back, paying it forward. So we have our annual food drive. It's our 9th straight year that we're doing it. So can't stop now. If you want to contact us, if you want to donate or support what we're doing, chaptersnetwork.org, go right on there. We can support and help us out in such a big way. We've been, during this pandemic, it's been very difficult for so many people. And again, it's important to give back and to pay it forward. And Stephanie, I thank you for the support that you've given the network for the last couple of years and the ongoing work that you do.
Well, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but Steve, throughout this entire pandemic, has been out there donating his time, getting all these different fundraisers together for those people who are food insecure. So, just a shout out to you and all the tireless work that you do every single day. So thank you for all of the things that you do to help others. It's a beautiful thing to see someone so dedicated to helping other people.
Well, this network is about paying it forward. It's a nonprofit organization that's been established for a couple of years now. That's all we do, is to kind of pay it forward. But switching gears, our guest is kind of like I'm going to say this, it's kind of like a little badass, because she is on it. She's got, first of all, one of the greatest websites I've ever seen in my life. And which
is awesome to say, because I've had to redo my website like 3 times and it's still awful. So I need to talk to you, Anya, about what you're doing, because that's amazing.
I know, my website, you go on there, oh, it's good, this is good, but hers, you get lost in there for like an hour, and
which is the plan. She did good, huh?
Right, I was pressing these buttons and different things came up, and we got to talk with her. We need some tips from her. But you're a badass yourself, Stephanie. So how does it feel to have Anya on the show today? You guys know each other for a little bit.
Fellow badass. It's nice to have other empowered women who are out there living their best lives and really creating, a life that they're happy about. And Anya's going to share some really great stories, because she was doing the whole work 9 to 5 thing. And of course, work probably more hours than that, because when you are in corporate America, they want your soul, is what it seems like. So I am sure we're going to have a lot of really great stories from some of the fun adventures she's had since she stopped that unhealthy relationship that she was in.
That's right. Before we bring her on, she does these YouTube clips and she talks about various topics. We have one, we picked out one. We're just going to show a little clip of it. She's talking about money and things. So, Evan, if you could cue that up, let's see Anya Halama. and what.
Hey guys, it's Anya. Today we are continuing with our tapping series about common money blocks that people might have. Today we're going to be tapping on the idea of wanting more money but being stuck. A lot of people, they don't go the extra mile when they feel that they need more money and push through to get that extra money because they feel like they're going to be stuck and they won't know what to do with it. One of Bob Proctor's best quotes is, when you have more money, money gives you mobility. It allows you to do anything you want and serve anyone you want. Great quote. So let's get unstuck so we can do whatever we want with our money. So let's begin tapping on the side of our hand. Even though I have this feeling of being stuck, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I have this feeling of being stuck, and it's not allowing me to get more money, I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Even though I have this stuck feeling inside of my body about money, I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Eyebrow point, this stuck feeling. This stuck feeling. I have this stuck feeling inside of me. I have this feeling that having more money makes me stuck.
Oh.
Wow. You're not picking your nose, Stephanie, are you?
No, I was following along, I swear.
Yes, you were. Yeah, we were both following along. Wow, that is an incredible video.
That was the perfect time to come back to me, by the way. That was hysterical.
Welcome to the show, Anya.
Hello, it's so grateful to be here. So lovely to chat with you again. Yes, it's always nice to start it off with some laughter, right?
That's right. Sure. That's right. So kind of tell our viewers a little bit about that video and why you put those things out for people to watch.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of my work that I do is working with limiting beliefs around money, limiting beliefs around losing weight, limiting beliefs around relationships, why you can't attract love. Like, the law of attraction works if you get rid of all of the gunk that you have inside of you. That's when you can attract to things. So a lot of people have these limiting beliefs. What I was doing in that particular video is emotional freedom technique. It essentially moves energy in your body in order to release those limiting beliefs. Very similar to acupuncture points down your body. We all have these meridian points in our bodies. Very similar to acupuncture points. Instead of using needles, we use our fingers, and it moves the energy in order to release that energy. We start off with negative affirmations, and I was saying, you're stuck with money. You have all these stuck beliefs around money, and then we end on positive. I can attract money easily. So if you follow along with the video, and you can watch all of it on YouTube, you would get to that. I'm not stuck around money anymore. I have this non-limiting belief around money. I could attract it easily and effortlessly into my life.
And that's why we have her in the show, because I want more money. I wanted to be attracted to money. Can you help me?
Yes, we can start tapping.
All right.
Just start touching yourself.
By the end of the show, I feel a lot richer. That's what I feel like it's going to happen here.
That's exactly what's supposed to happen.
But Stephanie, how do you know Anya?
Well, we met in I guess, Boss Moms, or one of those networking on social media, I'm guessing.
We were introduced by a woman that I met in Florida. She gave me her contact, and we reached out somewhere along the ethers.
Sounds right. I people will ask me how I meet people. I'm like, it's just people, the connections get made, and it's just kind of cool how things, I don't know, they just get attracted.
The online world is magical. That's the whole point of it. Like, COVID was so terrible, but expanding your businesses, expanding your networks, COVID was freaking amazing.
It was.
And you have to be open and receptive to meeting new people and networking. How Stephanie and I met a couple of years ago, but we met randomly at some event that she was promoting her book, and I was covering it on a radio show. and I interviewed her, and from that point on, we became friends and co-hosts. And it's that fleeting moment that you really have to take advantage of sometimes in life. And the pandemic was that moment for a lot of us. Did that happen for you, Anya?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, for me, I had my business online already. I was already doing so many things online. A lot of people, they went into COVID and they're like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. A lot of people lost their jobs. So my business exploded because I work with so many limiting beliefs and helping people get past that. COVID was really a blessing in disguise for me.
Right. And you actually came from corporate America, and you were doing really well in that. But why did you give all that up? I'm sure you were making lots of money back then too. But was it easy or hard to give it up?
Both. So I started my corporate career very, very young. Like I was 17 years old working in corporate America. I was one of the youngest people in the company that I worked with, and still probably the youngest person in the company's history. And obviously I've moved up and I switched companies, and I was making six figures at 19 years old. No 19-year-old should have that much money. On top of that, I was also bartending at night as well. So like all the money that was coming in, I was freaking loaded at the time. But it came to a point in my career where I could either look for another job. I was butting heads with my manager. Like I was put under someone else and I was really butting heads with her. And I could either look for something new or do something crazy. So I'm like, let's do something crazy. I'm a little rebellious. I'm a little crazy. So I had this crazy idea of going to travel the world. I was like, you know what? The time is now. I don't have children. I don't have a family. I'm 25 years old. Let's go. Why not? So within a week span, I quit my job, sold my apartment, put everything in storage, sold my car, bought a one-way ticket to Thailand, and I've been traveling ever since. It's been 6 years. Yesterday, actually, I celebrated.
Wow, congratulations. So you bought a one-way ticket to Thailand.
Yes, one-way ticket to Thailand, and I've been traveling ever since.
Wow.
What did your parents think about that? Because I'll tell you, like I was a certified New York State teacher with a great retirement, all these great things. And when I told my parents I was going to quit that and just do my business full time, the look of like horror on their faces was real. And I understand that, because it's like, why would you leave such a great thing to go and do this? So like, how did your parents react to that?
They thought I was completely crazy. A lot of the reason why I also left was I didn't have a great relationship with my father. We had tons of childhood trauma that I was trying to get away from, essentially, like run away from everything. Not only the manager, but my parents as well. So I was like, I'm going to go as far away as possible. My mom obviously thought I was crazy. I have a fantastic relationship with my mother. And she's like, well, what if you die? What if you get kidnapped? What if something bad happens? And I'm like, well, what if I find myself? What if I find love? What if I create a new career? What if I enjoy it? What if I live my best life? We can't look at the negative things of what ifs. Like, turn those what ifs into positive what ifs. Like, what if something great happens out of this? You shouldn't allow fear to take you to that, I can't do this because I'm scared. If everyone was scared, we'd still be like living in our houses. And a lot of people unfortunately still are. And the pandemic showed us this. But we need to live our lives, live our best lives as possible. And whatever it is that's really that you want to do it. Don't be afraid of it.
So that's the question, is that people say, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? So like the worst thing, you're going to die. Okay. But living this same life over and over again, that's so boring. Is that living? And I think that's an important question to ask yourself if you're feeling like there's more for you out there, but you're just too afraid to take action.
Yeah, exactly. More people need to, like, what's the worst that can happen? Exactly. Weigh out all of your options. What is the worst thing that can happen? Mm-hmm. But then also weigh out all of the positive things that can happen as well. And then you'll be surprised there'll be more positive than there will be negative.
So Anya, when you jumped aboard that airplane to Thailand, what was running through your mind when you were on that plane? Do you remember?
I was shivering, quivering. I was like, I don't know anyone. I don't know the language. I didn't even know what language they spoke in Thailand. I've never been that far away from home, essentially. I didn't know what I was going to do for work. Like, yes, I had money saved up, but it was the first time where I didn't have a reliable paycheck. I didn't have a paycheck coming in every single week. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know anyone. I was like, am I sure I want to do this? I'm kind of scared, but I'm kind of intimidated, but I'm also like very excited as well. Like, this is what I want to do. And I grabbed all my stuff, took a little backpack, and I went for it.
Wow. And when you landed there, what was your first week or two there like for you?
Partied. I had all the money saved up. So honestly, I partied for about 6 months.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not working. I'm going on vacation. I'm going to live it up.
Wow.
I had a friend of mine that did some traveling, and he actually was working at a club for a little bit in Thailand. And he was saying like how fun it was, like how much there was to do, how much of a nightlife there was, and how cheap it is. Like once you get there, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I was staying at like 5-star resorts for like $40 a night. It was amazing.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so when the partying ended after 6 months, what happened then?
I needed to figure out what to do for work. This was my first entrepreneurial journey. So I did graphic design and marketing for corporate America. Hence my website is very nice. Thank you.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, well, I can pick up freelance clients. I started picking up freelance clients. I rented out Airbnbs. Airbnbs were a thing back then. Was living from one place to another. I traveled a little bit as well. I did some house sitting. And then the freelance thing, I decided, I was like, I don't know if I want to continue doing graphic design, if this is like really a passion of mine, because I was butting heads with my manager. Like, it jaded me so much. I was like, I don't know if I want to do graphic design and art for a while anyway, so let's see what else I can do. And I landed random jobs. I was translating menus at a point in restaurants because their English was so bad. I was like, all right, let me help you with your grammar. So I did that. I was teaching English for a while. Then I found affiliate marketing, network marketing, and then I fell into my spiritual journey. And now I do spiritual business coaching with the marketing background that I have. It makes sense.
Wow. And you mentioned earlier before the show that you travel frequently and that you pretty much don't have a set home because you're bebopping around the world. And you're in Colombia right now. How are things going for you there?
I just landed here 3 hours ago. So as soon as I landed, yeah, we went to grab some lunch with a girlfriend of mine because I've been here multiple times. I was actually quarantined here all last year. It was airports were closed. I couldn't get out. So I spent the full year here last year. I say it's my second home because I feel at home here because I spent it was the longest time since those 6 years that I've spent in an actual place. So I went to go get some lunch with a girlfriend and now I'm on this interview.
Wow. Wow, that is great.
I don't know yet how things are. It's been a while since it's been about a year since I've been here. So I don't know how the restrictions are with COVID or anything just yet.
Right. Has it been difficult to travel during the pandemic or do the work that you do, or is it pretty much?
A little bit, yeah. Things have slowed down, definitely. I haven't gone to Europe. I haven't gone to Asia. I spent a lot of time in Mexico and Florida this year. I went back home to Chicago a couple of times as well. A lot of the time I spent in Mexico, actually. I just came back from Mexico today again. Now I'm in Colombia, so I'll be around these areas for a little bit.
Wow.
I was an exchange student in Colombia a long time ago now, but what part are you in?
Medellin.
Okay. I was told that the host family, she was from Medellin. So she would tell me how gorgeous it was. Is it true there's like flower pots in the windows and just so green and beautiful? Yeah, sounds like.
I highly recommend this city to everyone. It's the city of eternal spring. The weather is 75 year round. It's beautiful. The mountains. I'm also a mountain girl versus a beach girl. So just mountain therapy. It's stunning. I love this city.
That's awesome.
Super affordable too.
Wow. And explain to our viewers here, and we're talking to Anya Halama. This is Kick on Healthy Relationships to the Curb. We're here every Wednesday. But explain to our viewers specifically what you do and how you work with people virtually or all across the globe.
Yeah, so I am a spiritual business coach as well as an intuitive digital artist. Again, the website. I mostly help people, women specifically, to get past any kind of limiting beliefs. The clip that we did earlier, getting past limiting beliefs, doing EFT tapping, doing meditations in order to align yourself and your energy with your business, with your clients, so you can attract. I do lots of manifestations as well, so you can attract whatever it is that you want into your life, soul, spirit, mind, everything. And also like the good balance of the masculine and feminine energy. I do a lot of work between that as well, because the masculine goes into that corporate America, very hustle, hustle, hustle. And then the feminine is the flow, allowing things to come to you. Well, most people have one or the other. Everyone has both of them, but most people think that they have one or the other, where we need to find that balance of both of them. Yes, we need structure in business, but we need to also allow flow to come into us as well.
Do you find that it's difficult for a lot of the corporate women to allow some of that femininity back into their lives?
100%. And I know I had that problem for a long time. I was like, what do you mean I don't need to work 10 hours a day? It just goes into that hustle mentality. I mean, that's what America is built on. Like, we need to just keep doing. And that doing is what burns us out. Like, I was so burnt out in my 20s. I was literally going blind. Like, doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. No one could figure out what was wrong with me. I was just burnt out, and stress was taking over my entire body. Well, now I work 3-4 hours a day, and I allow the flow of energy to come to me, and my clients come to me attracted towards me. And the energy that you put out, that's the energy you're going to get in as well.
Yeah.
My sister mentioned something about this the other day, is that for some reason there's a lot of people that talk about, it's almost, they think it's a positive thing to say how much they work. Like, oh, I work 12-hour days, I work 14-hour days. And, you know, when I hear that, I'm like, you need to work on your time management, or like get a different job, because that doesn't sound like you're really living your life that way if you're just constantly giving your job all those hours.
Well, I heard Anya just say she's proud of working 3 or 4 hours.
No, 3 or 4 hours, yeah.
That's we should all do that.
Heck yeah, working 3 or 4 hours and bringing in multiple 6 figures. Heck yeah, like more people need to strive to do that. And I can teach you.
Yes, well, that's what you're here for. You're here to teach us there, especially me. I need the help here. But
well, that's the exciting part, right? I mean, to be able to still make that money and have that flow into you more easily instead of having to work these crazy hours. I mean, it sounds like, why wouldn't everyone want to be striving for that? But I think you're right. I think the American dream is you've got to work all these crazy hours in order to make the money. But I think we need to start shifting that thought process.
Yeah, it's definitely a paradigm shift, and it's happening right now. More people are becoming entrepreneurs. And don't get me wrong, I love working. I love the people that I serve. I love working with people. I love working with them one-on-one. I love the designs that I do. But a lot of the work that I do is I'm on my phone from the beach, like taking calls. Like that's work for me. I could do it from anywhere, and it's okay. You can do it from anywhere. You don't have to be stuck at a desk, stuck inside of a cubicle, stuck inside of gray walls, and then hating your life as soon as you go home. You can do all of that from the beach.
Well, how do people make that shift? Because it's you talk about being scared or fearful. I mean, first of all, you have to have the hope and the dream to have it, but also to make that switch. What advice would you give people that are afraid to make that switch, or they may have that creative idea, but they're just kind of not ready to make that move?
Yeah, definitely have an execution plan. Like, it's okay to have a side hustle working on your business while still being in a 9-to-5 job. That's completely fine. Don't think that you're just going to quit your job and you have no idea what you're going to do. It's okay to do both of them, and until your business is making enough money. Then it's also a mindset thing. It's you telling yourself, I can do this, I'm good enough, I'm worthy enough, and you setting yourself up saying, I only want to work 3 hours a day. You implanting that inside of your mind will start getting you to attract that as well. And then your days will start getting shorter, and all of a sudden you'll be working 3 hours a day and you'll be like, oh, look at that. I spent the rest of the day with my kids. I cooked dinner. I went to go work out, and I had all this free time because I told myself that this is exactly what I'm going to do.
But I mean, that is important advice. And I think, Stephanie, when you're working virtually, connecting with people right away or to establish rapport is a knack. It's a skill. How do you do it, Stephanie? And maybe it's similar to what Anya does.
I probably, because, you know, I'm listening to Anya tell her story, and I'm just like, yeah, that's so cool. That's actually one of the reasons why I was working full-time as a teacher, working on my business as a side hustle, because I had the dream of having the freedom to go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted to. And so now I can do that. You know, it was really hard for a while where I was working really long hours because I was working my full-time job and my business as a side hustle until that was actually producing enough to end my first career. But now I get to spend time with my kids and get to, really live life and enjoy everything and go where I want. I'm going to spend like a month with my family in North Carolina for the holidays. I would have never been able to do that in my job before. And I think that the big thing, like what Steve just asked about, how do you establish rapport? You just say all the things that mean something to you. So when you're sharing you and you're sharing your story, your excitement, your passion, I mean, it's hard not to get excited listening to Anya talk about her story. And, I get inspired by our guests when they come on and share what they've overcome. That's really how you establish rapport. You're just you. Be you, and the right people will be attracted to you.
Wow. I mean, is that in essence, Sonia, what Stephanie just said?
100% be authentically you. I tell everyone, like all my clients specifically, I run these 5-day virtual retreats, and one of the whole aspect of it is finding your brand. Like, you are your brand. Be authentically you. Share your story. Every single person has a story to tell, whether you think you do or you don't. Every single person has a story to tell. You ran a marathon. That's a freaking story. I don't know many people that ran a marathon. Sometimes we forget that is an actual accomplishment because you're like, oh, it's just a marathon. Well, yeah, that's freaking cool. Share that story. Every single person has a story to share, and just start speaking up about it. Start speaking up about what you believe in, what your thoughts are, what your beliefs are, and people will be attracted to that. People are attracted to your energy. It's funny because like during the retreats, I say like, I was so afraid of getting on camera, like because I was twirling my hair. I had all my ums, all my isms, but you need to share that story, and people will be attracted to their story because they'll be attracted to your isms. They'll be attracted to how you twirl your hair and how you talk with your hands. That's what people want to see more, that authentic self.
Yeah. Well, I stopped twirling my hair last year, so just so you know. I do talk with my hands though, so we're good.
You're Italian. You can't, there's nothing you can do about it. I do it too. If someone tied my hands up, I wouldn't be able to talk. I'd be mute.
That's right. That's right. Anya, what is the challenge working with people sometimes? I know it must be very successful, but there may be some challenges that you face with people that you work with.
I grab people's energies a lot. So if someone's having a bad day, like I'll take on that energy and I'll be like, oh, now I'm having a little bit of a bad day. So I need to go and do some tapping and like do some meditating afterwards, cleanse my energy, sage myself. But I do grab people's energies. I think that is one of the hardest part of my job is actually like being compassionate about other people and talking to other people. And then actually putting, like, one of my biggest gifts is actually putting myself in other people's shoes and seeing it from other people's perspectives, like seeing both sides of the coins. So me actually, like, I need to make sure that my energy is aligned and I'm aligned with myself, making sure that I don't take on the energy of what other people are telling me. So I don't go back home and start crying myself to sleep.
Wow.
I hear you, because that can be hard, is to really be able to have that boundary, a little bit, not a wall necessarily, but being able to disconnect when you're done. Sometimes I'll be done with a session. I have to just go outside to just shift environments to be able to kind of like get the energy off so that I can take the next call and not bring that into the next conversation I'm having.
Well, I mean, that happens often when you have back-to-back clients or people that you work with. You need that little bit of a break. You need that little bit of a change to get your mind and perspective back on target so you can work objectively with others. How do you get your referrals? How does it happen for you, Anya?
I mean, most of them have been word of mouth, networking through groups like Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs on Facebook. I have my own Facebook group, Spirituality for Badass Babes. I have a podcast. Like, I put out a lot of content as well. And anyone listening to my podcast, my YouTube videos, or just anything that I put out there, mostly people come from there. There's a sign-up sheet on my website, and you could book a virtual coffee with me, and we could see how we can work well together.
Mm-hmm. Now, this show is Kick Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb, and you've moved around a lot the last 6 years. Relationships for you on a professional and personal level, has it been easy to establish, difficult, or maintain, or what's going on with you?
Very difficult. It's actually funny. I spent about 5 months in Chicago, my hometown, this year, and I realized like I barely have anything in common with my old friends anymore. Like I've outgrown them, so it's definitely difficult keeping those relationships. Sure, we're still in group chats, talking here and there, but the core relationship isn't there anymore. And the people that I meet, like I'm actually at a friend's house right now that I met last year in Colombia. We still keep in touch. So I have friends all over the world, but those deep relationships, they're like, I have 5 friends essentially, and that's all I need, really close friends. And that's pretty much all I need. But I do love a lot of people. I do have compassion for a lot of people, but relationships can be a little bit difficult, especially dating as well. That can be difficult, especially with my lifestyle. But yeah, we work it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just recently went through a breakup. Was he traveling with you? What was going on with that?
Yeah, we met while traveling. I was traveling for about 3 years at this point, and he wasn't traveling yet. He traveled a lot, but he still had a home base in Florida. So we met on a cruise ship, actually a singles cruise, actually. Met on a cruise, and he's like, I like you, I'm gonna come travel with you. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I'm going anyway, so you want to come with me or you don't? We ended up dating for 3 years. We were engaged. We traveled together for 3 years, and we recently broke off the engagement.
And how are you feeling about it? Is it feeling, I mean, you don't seem to be, but of course, here we are on television. It's hard to, you want to put on a good front, but how are you feeling about ending that?
I had good days and I had bad days, definitely. Lots of emotions went through. It was a difficult decision. It was something that I prolonged the breakup for a long time because I needed to make sure I was 1000% sure that this is what I want to do, to break off this engagement. And I went a lot between my heart and my mind. Like my heart was telling me one thing, but my mind was telling me another thing. And it goes back to this, what will people think? Like we booked all of our wedding stuff. People already paid for the resort. We were going to have a destination wedding. Like, what will people think? What will my friends think? And so it was a lot of emotions at the time. But I realized like I needed to choose myself. At the end of the day, I was not happy in the relationship. He wasn't happy either. And there's no point of keep going and keep trying for something that isn't work. I much rather be single at 30 than divorced at 30. So I had ups and downs. Last week was actually supposed to be our wedding and that as well. I had good days, I had bad days, but I had my family there, I had my friends there, and it turned out really beautiful. I still wore white, drank champagne, and had some wedding cake. So I married myself, and it was the best decision ever.
I love that you did that. I love that you still went and partied with your friends and had a good time and just celebrated life. And, instead of letting all that go, you got to spend some good time with people that you cared about.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. And the thing, most people, they would have still gone through with the wedding. A lot of people I know 100% would have still gone through. But at the end of the day, like you need to choose what's best for you. And you need to make sure that you are 100% happy because your happiness comes first. If you're not happy, then nothing else is going to matter in your life. You need to choose you first. We, especially as women, we give so much to other people. But when are you filling your cup? When are you choosing yourself? When are you choosing your own happiness? And that was a really difficult decision for me. But yes, I chose myself and I couldn't be happier. I'm traveling again. I have no one to respond to. I'm loving life again. Like I was just in Mexico by myself for about a week and a half. And I had the most beautiful time. I was exploring. I felt like myself again. I had that freedom again. And that's what I longed for. I lost myself a little bit in that relationship.
And as someone who was married before, and we got married, I was 28 years old, 29 is when we actually got married. But I remember thinking like, I'm getting older, I should settle down. He seems like he's a good guy, but I had all these feelings of this is not the right guy for me. And I went through it anyway. And then even things got really bad on the wedding night. And I was like, I could get a divorce, but this is going to be so embarrassing to tell like my minister and my family and friends that had traveled from all over the world to come to this wedding. I was so embarrassed that I didn't say anything and then wasted so many years of my life. So I wish I would have had that kind of hindsight that you had to be able to say, you know what, I don't want to do this for my future. My future self will thank me if I just end this now. And because I was worried, I'm like, the money, I spent all this money on this wedding. But the reality is that it was way more expensive to get a divorce than to have just gone and had fun at the wedding.
But a
Yeah,
lot of
that's-
people, right? I'm sorry. A lot of people would succumb to that once everything is set. You don't hurt anybody's feelings. You got everything. You got the whole setup. You got the band. You got everything paid for. The gifts. You got honeymoon. You got even a home. And it's not easy for people to say, enough. We need to kind of break it off. And Anya, I give you a lot of credit for coming to a realization and popping up on here today. And it must be challenging for you, but your positive vibe, your positive energy is really connecting.
Yeah, choosing yourself. At the end of the day, make sure your happiness comes first. Make sure you choose you, because your kids will come and go. They'll move out of the house. Your husband will come and go, but you stay you. Make sure that you connect to yourself and you choose you at the end of the day.
Wow. So after 6 years, Anya, what does your mom say now about what you've been up to all this time?
She still thinks I'm absolutely crazy. I was at her house for about 5 months this year, and she's like, I already miss you. Come back home. I was like, yeah, not happening. I love you, but not happening. I need space.
Mm-hmm.
I bet she loves hearing your stories, though, of adventure and all that kind of stuff.
So much adventure, so much fun. The people that I meet, the foods that I eat, the things that I see, it's incredible. It's always an adventure. And life should be an adventure. It should be fun. Most people are afraid to leave their houses, but there's a big, bad world out there. We should go see it all.
Yep. And Anya, I mean, at 19, you were in corporate America. How'd that happen for you so young? Because you have been an overachiever for your whole life, it seems.
Yeah, so at the age of 10, my dad actually got into a really bad work accident, and I had to grow up very, very quickly. At the age, we're Polish immigrants. I was born in Poland. So I was translating legal documents. I was going to doctor visits. I got my childhood pretty much taken away from me, which I resented my father for a long time for that, because I was translating documents, going to all these doctor's visits. My parents didn't speak any English. My mom speaks English now. My dad speaks no English to this day. We've been in America for almost 30 years and he still doesn't speak English. But because of that, I had to grow up really quickly. So at the age of 15, I ended up getting a full-time job because I was helping support my family, because he was on workers' comp. He wasn't bringing, we lost a substantial income for the household. So I wanted to do my part. So at 15, I had a full-time job. At 16, I knew I wanted to go into graphic design. I took some graphic design classes in high school, and I was like, I love this. This is so much fun. I'm enjoying it. I know this is what I want to do. So I went to college. I graduated. I graduated at 19 years old, and I was like, I say that I unconsciously manifested this into my life, because while I was in high school, I had an internship, and this is why I started my corporate career. So at such an early age, I had an internship while still in high school. One of my girlfriends, her boyfriend at the time, he owned an agency, like a corporate 500 agency, and he hired me on. I had an internship. As soon as I went into college, he hired me on, and I started working, and it was amazing. And I was bringing in income. So I grew up really quickly, but I had to at that point.
Wow. So your family upbringing, because of circumstance, really molded you in what you do today, because you had to learn fast, and maybe you're making up for lost time when you go to Thailand and party up for 6 months and then get down to business. I think that's healthy, because a lot of young people like myself, I wish I would have done something like that when I was younger, and people can't go back in time, and it's hard. It gets more complicated to do the things that you're doing at an older age. But when you're young, it's the time to do it. And there should be no definition of how long you should do it for, because obviously you're making great money wherever you go. And that's the key part. What advice would you give women out there that are successful but need a little tweaking to move from one level to another level and not get dependent on maybe a relationship or even men for that matter too?
Working on your energy. A lot of it does come down to energy. And this is the whole masculine versus feminine energy that I was talking about. We can't just have structure. Corporate America is very, very structured. Like, we need to work hard. We need to keep putting in the hours. We need to do things. Well, take a step back. get in the flow, put on some music, dance around a little bit, meditate, go spend some time in nature, connect to that energy, and you'll be surprised. Like, my mantra during COVID was I slow down to speed back up. Sometimes we don't need to keep hustling. We don't need to overwork ourselves and burn ourselves out. We just really do need to slow down. And then our energy, that's what will attract more into our lives. And that's the beauty of it.
Now, I would love to read a book about your travels. Do you have anything like that for anybody?
I don't yet, but I'm actually working. I'm an overachiever, like we've established already. I'm working on 5 books currently. I already have one. The current book that I have, Rebel's Guide to Spirituality, is more about my spiritual journey, my healing journey, trauma that I had with my dad, how I grew up really quickly, how I got into corporate America, how I left corporate America, how I started my spiritual journey, my healings, and all of that. But I do have a travel book in the works.
Very cool.
So 5 books. So your goals for 2022, what would they be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Definitely launch all my books. Not all of them. Some of them will be coming out a little bit later as well. Just to help inspire as many people as possible. I want to reach more women. I want to talk to more women. I exude my energy out, and I love talking to people. I love sharing my inspirational stories. If I can make one person's life better just by being me, like, that is my life accomplishment. Like, my goals are accomplished then. So if I can just keep sharing my stories, keep spreading wealth, keep spreading positivity, and inspire someone to take that one step. All it takes is that one step in the right direction. If I can inspire someone to do that, then my goals are complete.
Now, we have a couple of people chiming in here. They want to know, where is Badass University? They want to join.
Abundant Badass University. Yeah. So you can sign up for my 5-day virtual retreat. We're actually hosting it in a couple of weeks. Go to rebelentrepreneurretreat.com. Badass University, you can apply to join by going to anyahalama.com. The application is in there as well. But I highly recommend going to the retreat. The retreat takes you on this beautiful spiritual business journey where we work on your energy. We work on attracting clients, not chasing after them, where we work on getting rid of that hustle mentality and how to align yourself with the right clients so you can start bringing in more into your life.
And again, tell everybody your website, your Facebook, your Instagram. How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so my website's anyahalama.com. Everything is on my website, my YouTube, my book, Abundant Badass University. Everything is on there. On Instagram, I am at Anya Travels. On Facebook, I'm Anya Halama. And then YouTube is also Anya Travels. I did recently start a TikTok. I haven't dove too much into it, but that's also Anya Travels.
Wow.
TikTok. I'm trying to get into TikTok. My husband and my son, they will go through some of the cute doggy ones, but I'm like, I don't know.
I have so much resistance towards TikTok, and that's my own internal beliefs. I actually started a 100-day TikTok challenge. The day that I started it was going to be 100 days until the end of the year. I'm like, I got this. I'm going to do this. I lasted about 15 days, and I was like, I got it.
Well, good, because I'm not the only one. Because I said, I know that I should be on there. I know I should be looking through that more, but there's already so much going on with other social media stuff. It's like just one more thing to add to the list.
It's exhausting. I have a whole team that handles my social media, but I'm still exhausted with it.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's what I need. I need a whole team. I need to party for 6 months. I need 6 figures. I need to work from the beach. This is crazy. This is
all good stuff. Do the university
you have all of that and more?
I know. This is unbelievable. So what's 3 things you could tell people right now before you go to change their life on the spot here? What would you tell them?
Oh, first one, you can do, be, and have absolutely anything you put your mind to. If you set up and have that goal, like, this is what I want to do. If I want to quit my job, go out to Thailand, you can do that. Do not let anyone else's limitations put a damper on your happiness, put a damper on your success. The second thing, define your own definition of success and freedom, because sometimes we look up to all of these people like Tony Robbins, Marie Forleo, and they're making 7 figures, they're making 8 figures, but sometimes like success doesn't mean success to everyone. Like success, your definition of success might be just being with my family, working 4 hours a week, bringing in $1,000 extra a month, whatever that definition of it is for you. Definitely do it. And then the last one is start a mind, body, soul, spirit connection, whatever that means for you, whether that's tapping, daily meditation, daily journaling, whatever, just to connect to your internal self, because that has been one of the biggest catalysts to my own growth, is finding that mind, body, soul, spirit connection, and do it whatever works for you. Not tapping might not work for you. Meditation might not work for you. Jogging might not work for you. Not everyone is made the same exact way. So find what works for you and continuously keep doing at it and keep being at it.
Wow. And you got to check out that website. It is amazing, because I was trying to get prepared for today and I got lost in your website for almost 2 hours, really. I mean, well done. I mean,
nice.
Really
That's
done.
excellent. If you can get someone to stick on your website for 2 hours, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's me. Thank you.
It's awesome. So you just got off the plane, 3 hours. So just take a little breather, have some nice dinner, party a little bit. Stay in Colombia for a couple of days, okay?
I'm actually about to go to an ayahuasca retreat.
Oh, wow.
Enjoy. So don't eat anything.
No, don't eat
anything.
right.
So I'm not going to be eating anything. I'm fasting for a little bit. Yeah.
Just forget everything I just said. Don't worry about it. But
I had a really
Anya,
busy day.
thank you so very much. You're a blessing. You're a breath of fresh air. And a lot of people can do what you do if they just make that first step. So congratulations. Keep up the amazing work. And we'll see you down the road.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me as well. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great
Have
day.
fun. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Yes. Good luck. Good luck. So Stephanie, she is amazing.
Yeah, Anya, this was great. Anya's still here, but we think she's amazing.
She is amazing. So there we go. So, sorry, Anya. Evan, great job there. But a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, to go after your dreams, to go after what you want, because you can spend the rest of your life wishing and hoping that something's going to change or that your life is going to be what you want it to be. But very seldomly do people actually take action on those things. So I think, for me, I think the biggest takeaway is just a reminder of just do it. Be like Nike, just go do it. Stop telling yourself you can't. Go out there and do it, and you will figure it out. You will figure it out. You just have to take action, because you have to imagine the life that you're missing out on by not creating that. So all of the good adventures, all the fun times, all those inspiring stories you'll have if you actually jump in and take, action on your new adventures.
And I think that's what lends into problems, because my upbringing was, in the foster care system, and I just wanted my own world, security, set everything straight, and then I jumped into things right away because that's what I thought I wanted, and then you realize, well, this is not really what I wanted. I really wanted just to tinker with who I am and to kind of do the things that Anya's doing. And I think that's why I asked that question a couple of times, because there's a lot of people out there that are afraid to make that step. And they feel so secure in the day-to-day living. Most of us do it, and it's hard to break away from that.
Well, and I mean, when I was a teacher, I loved teaching. And don't get me wrong, I loved my students. I loved my job. I really did. But there were many days I would go to work feeling like I was losing out. Like there was something else for me. And it was this voice that was calling out to me saying, you can't do this for the rest of your life. And I would talk to people that would say, well, only, 10 more years till I retire, only 5 more years till I retire. And I'll never forget, there was this guy, Vinny. He was a custodian, and the custodians would always hang out in my room, and because we'd all chat and hang out. And he was counting down years, then months, then days, until he finally retired. And about a month later, after he retired, he passed away. And I thought, you know what? I don't want that to be me. So that was an inspiring thing for me, is to say, I'm not going to wish my life away and hope that something else happens. I'm going to do it now.
And you kind of did that. You picked up and moved to Texas, from New York, and kind of what Anya from Chicago. You kind of picked it up, but you had you were establishing your family and who you were, and you're an overachiever too. So you probably related to a lot of things that you were saying. But I don't know if you're gonna hightail it to Thailand right now. But
you never know.
You never know. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. But
I might, because that's it's one of the things. I'm looking at campers to just be able to travel the country for a little while. So who knows where you'll be having these conversations from in the near future.
Young lady, make sure every Wednesday at this time that's just me and you, because we
don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
The secret to our healthy relationship, is that we see each other once a week. I think that's the key. That's the key thing.
Exactly.
But no, seriously, it's we have a lot to be thankful for. Thanksgiving's coming up. We're going to continue to pay it forward, and I learned a lot from what Anya had to say. And you know what? It's she really took life in her own hands, and she's running with it. And you can look at the positive side of things. You don't always have to say, "Oh, this could happen in a negative approach," and that's what our mindset should be, because positive things can happen when you think that way, and they will happen. Obviously, it's happening for Anya. Despite any personal challenges that she just went through, she's still plugging along and doing her thing, and nothing is stopping her. And that's just what we do on the show. So thank you for getting her on the show again. You're welcome. I love finding great guests for our show. We have another great guest next week. Yes. Another inspiring story. So stick around. Come and watch us next Wednesday right here live in the Chapters Network. Right. And also on the replay on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, 6 p.m. Yep, right here in the tri-state area. And it'll be the night before Thanksgiving. So I'll have everything ready to go for Thanksgiving. So God bless. Have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. Anya, thank you so very much. Keep up the amazing work that you do. Evan, great work on the board, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.